suffer from it when I go to America. It's crazy.
All right.
Yes.
Nick, it's a pleasure to meet you here in
Thank you
Berlin,
so
and
much.
it's a great film to come to Berlin for the first time with. I mean, first of all, tell us about your involvement with the, Private Lives of Pippa Lee. It's kind of a great project to be associated with.
It is. It's such an honor to be able to work on a film like this. There are so many strong male roles in Hollywood. It's so rare to find a strong female role like this, and so many of them in the film. And to get to work with Rebecca Miller, who's just unbelievably talented, who wrote and directed this, and to work with Julianne Moore and Monica Bellucci and Maria Bello and Alan Arkin. I mean, it was such a dream come true. I can't believe that I was able to be a part of it. It was so thrilling to be able to portray a young Robin Wright Penn. And if I wasn't so tired, I would be squealing with my excitement.
Well, it's not an easy role as well, because you star as young Pippa Lee with a range of, first of all, physicalities which kind of convey her state of mind. So tell us a little bit about that first, how the physicality changed the role in itself.
Yeah, well, Pippa ages from about 15 years old to about 25 in the film, and it goes from the 70s into the 80s. And it was important when she was younger to be a little more thin, have longer, straight hair like a young girl, not styled, no makeup.
Very ingenue.
Yeah, and as she got older, it was into the 80s, so the hair got a little crazier and the makeup got really dark and greasy. Something that looked like it had been slept in for a week. She just put on more eyeliner every night before she went out, because she was just living this life, just this repetitive life of just constantly going out. Night bled into day, every day of her life, and that was important to be reflected in the crazy, nasty hair and the makeup. And then as she met Herb, she started to make herself a little prettier, a little more presentable, because she was segueing into this wife that she would then become for him. So it was important to get those things down, because I think it really helped to tell the story.
Absolutely, and it's the kind of role that is intertwined with someone else's role as well, Robin Wright as the older Pippa Lee. Did you meet her on the set? Did you discuss the role, or did you rely on Rebecca Miller to just convey you the running order of her story in a way?
It was a little bit of both. I did get to meet Robin. I did get to spend a little time around her beforehand. The only problem was we didn't have the luxury to really get to spend time together and to get to talk to one another. She lived in Los Angeles. I was in New York working on a TV show, so it was just like, I signed on to the project, and then right away I was working on it. So I did get to spend a little bit of time with her, and just being around her, there's just such a magical essence to her. I know it sounds really cheesy and like an actor thing to say, but it's true. And it was just, I felt like it was most important to capture that rather than try to get each little physicality down. So I really tried to embody her in a sense, just what I felt from her. And also Rebecca, I relied a lot on her, but I knew that Rebecca wouldn't over-direct us. So if she felt that I was on the right track, she just didn't come in. So I was trusting a lot of it, just trusting that it was gonna match up and be the same person. But it was interesting to see the film, and so many people think it is the same person, which is wonderful. And I was going into the press conference yesterday, and these people that were getting autographs were so upset with me because they thought I was Robin, and they were screaming, "Robin, why won't you sign this?" I said, "I'm not Robin." And then they started calling her or me bougie, and they were so upset. I was like, "But I'm not Robin." So I probably should have just signed her autographs as Robin. But
exactly, Robin Blade. Robin Blade.
Yeah.
Who's that new star? It wasn't the easiest of roles emotionally, was it?
No, it wasn't. But for me, it's so much more rewarding to get to play a character like that. It's easier in a sense because you really you get to play so many parts of a person, and it's nice to be able to show an audience such a complete person. So it is more rewarding and more exciting to be able to do that. And it's important for you to see her journey and understand why she makes these decisions she makes, because she could easily be judged for breaking up a marriage and being with an older man, but it's important to know the pain that she suffered before that, you know, from her mother, and how much that really affected her, and how much she really loves her mother, and it really justifies the older Pippa. So it, you know, emotionally it was a difficult role to take on, but it was also very rewarding and exciting.
Absolutely, it's the kind of role that you will remember, that's for
Yeah.
sure. It's an all-star cast, although you've met only half of them.
Mm-hmm.
So when you meet the other half, is it fun?
Oh yeah, I didn't meet Keanu actually until this trip, and he's such a delight. He's so much fun to be around, and he's just such a nice, humble man, and you forget what a mega movie star he is. I'm like, oh, Keanu Reeves, this is so cool. You know, like he's a big movie star, but like, you know, you're sitting at dinner with him, and he's just this guy, Keanu. And then you walk outside, and these people go psycho because he's such a worldwide superstar, and I think it's easy to forget that being around him, which is really, I think, a wonderful thing to say about a person, because he's just unbelievably humble, and I got to sit next to him in the film, and he's such a reactor. He was loving every moment of the movie, not just looking for his parts, and it was just so enjoyable. But I look forward to meeting Winona. She was so terrific in the film. And other than that, I've met pretty much everyone.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, you're the right person to ask about that Hollywood switch. I call it Hollywood switch because it's like, you know, the success that comes in with the first episode of a great TV series.
Oh.
So how did that happen with Gossip Girl, in the sense of you waking up the following morning and everybody knows who you are?
It was really strange. The very first week after the show aired, we would have like a few girls come on set beforehand because people were fans of the books or fans of our producers, Josh and Stephanie, who did the OC. You know, maybe like 4 or 5 girls would come to our set. And then the first week after it aired, it was like 150 girls came, and they were mobbing us, and we didn't have any security or anything to, you know, make sure we got from our trailer to our set without, you know, being taken away by little tiny young girls. But that was just, it was unbelievable. To see what an immediate success it was, and so exciting, and so many people were trusting that our show would be a success. So we pre-shot magazine covers before the show had even aired, and they came out right when it aired, and it was just so weird to be in the grocery store and to see your face on a magazine. It just was unbelievably, yeah, it was just so surreal, but also really, really exciting.
Well, obviously, a lot of factors make Gossip Girl the success it is, the fashion being one of them, the story, etc. What is the thing that you enjoy the most? The designer suits or the great storyline?
Well, I think the most amazing thing about our show, the best character in our show, is New York City. I think that if you think of any movie that you love, even if it wasn't a great movie, you just get chills thinking of it because of New York City. You know, anyone that takes place there, it's magical. So I love getting to shoot in the city so much, and I think it's such an important element of our show. I think it wouldn't work if we were in LA shooting, you know, in downtown LA for New York City. But also the designer clothes are pretty amazing.
Well, what is your candid take on what Hollywood is today, especially being, you know, a young rising star or risen star?
I don't really necessarily have any sort of take on Hollywood. I mean, it's very much, I live in New York, it's very much a bubble that I'm living in. I think that it's really great to see. I think there was a spell where there were a lot of young stars that went under a lot of persecution, but it's also, you know, paparazzi are following these people around, and there are a lot of people that have made mistakes in their life that if there was a camera in front of them every moment, that, you know, they didn't have the most perfect life either, like someone like Pippa, for example. But I think there's so many great young actors now that are emerging, that are just really talented and sophisticated, and, you know, we have people like Kate Winslet to look up to, and Kate Blanchett, and it's really amazing to be able to be in places with these women, like, you know, going to the Golden Globes and getting to meet them, and meeting people you aspire to be like. So I don't know, I think that, you know, it has its ups and downs, but I don't really feel like I'm a part of it, but I feel honored to be able to make good movies like Pippa.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.